corner and welcome back. If you are a new viewer, watcher, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, watcher, welcome back. Hi, welcome. Today is Wednesday, July 22nd, and it's 6:38. And I have been doing nothing all day. I went out earlier today to get something sweet. I thought maybe I wanted something sweet, but I didn't. Y'all, it is so hot out there. Like it's so hot. But anyway, last night I was on the phone with my friends, and we was talking, and one of my friends brought up something that happened to her, and and she brought me back to a time when the same exact thing happened to me when I was much younger. And I'm going to tell you the story, so it is a story time. So if you want to watch, if you're curious about what I'm about to talk about, then stay tuned and hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. Alright, so this story takes place when I was in elementary school, and this would be the very first elementary school I ever went to. So, I guess I could do like a little backstory about this school. So, the very first elementary school I ever went to, it was the one I went to right after preschool. The one I started right after preschool. And I came all the way to 5th grade. And then this was the school when I had failed the standardized test that I had to take every year in order to move to the next grade. This was the school that I had failed it at, and this is also the same school that I decided to leave and go to another school at. And I do have a couple of story times about this school is where I have like a good bit of friends. I had like a good bit of friends here, people that I still remember. I don't see these people as much, but I would know them if I seen them. And I hope that they're all doing okay and they're all good. But this story doesn't take place at this school. It just something to do. It just has to do with a person that I befriended while I was at this school. So that's the backstory about this. Well, that's not a backstory, but that's just me giving you like details about why this school plays such a major part in this story. And let me get into it. Like I said, this was the school that I ended up leaving to go to the school for that 1 year, the elementary school for the 1 year, and then I went to middle school. Alright, so when I was in kindergarten, I want to say, I met a girl, and she would become my best friend up until about 5th grade. She would become my very, very best friend. And I did meet her at this school. So me and this girl was best friends, and she lived in my hometown, and I really don't quite remember a lot about her home life, but I do remember certain parts, and especially the part I'm about to tell. So it just so happened that she lived down the street from my grandparents' house. And if I didn't mention to you before, my grandparents actually own the land. They don't own it anymore, but they own the land. My grandfather was raised up on the land, and my grandma and him, when they got married and had kids, they moved up on top, directly on top of the hill. And because it was like 3 houses in here, so it was like my big mama's house, my grandparents' house, and their neighbor's house. And we know her too. She's a longtime family friend. But she lived like down the street from the hill, and so like if you stood on the porch side where you could technically see straight down at her house, you could see it. So, and she became my best friend, which oddly enough is weird because my mom and her mom was friends in school also, so that makes it even more weird. Alright, so the house that she was always at was her great grandmother's house, and her grandmother lived in a town, like a couple towns over, in the same state but a couple towns over. So she didn't technically live in my hometown. She lived in another town. And so because her mom them lived in like a different I guess not, I wouldn't say area, a different school zone. She caught the bus and got dropped and got put off the bus in this particular neighborhood where my grandparents was, and I happened to have lived up there. So when I was younger, much younger, my mom decided to move down into the little blue house that my great grandma lived in before she died, and she decided to move into that. So that's where I was living. But on the days my mom had to work, I would go up to my grandparents' house when I got off the bus, and I didn't catch the bus long because for a little while, my cousin and her mom lived with us, and then her mom got married, so they moved out and to another house. But she still continued going to that school until we got to the fifth grade. To our next year we got into the fifth grade, and then she went to a different school in her school zone, in the zone that she lived in. Okay, so like I said, the girl lived down the street, and so I used to walk to her house every day, and we was friends. And because our parents knew each other, and because we was friends or whatever, we spent a lot of time together. So our parents did have a conversation, and they would invite me to go places with them whenever they went somewhere. They thought maybe the daughter would want me to go or want me to attend. They would invite me, and I would just go with them. They just called my mom up, and this particular situation was no different. So like I said, her grandmother didn't live here. She lived in another town, a couple towns over. And she lived in an apartment complex, and the apartment complex had a pool in it. And this was her grandmother, her mom's mother. But the house she was at was her grandmother's mom. So if you don't, her great grandmother's house, catching the bus, and then her mom would pick her up from there and bring her back in the morning so she could get on the bus to go to school. And she would always catch the bus at our house at on the hill, like cause like we live on a hill, and it was like a long driveway leading up to like the three houses. So we would always catch the bus at the bottom of the hill, and she would catch the bus with us. That's one reason why we really became close friends. So I want to say this was around summertime, so we weren't in school anymore. And my friend grandmother wanted her and her little brother to come up there for the summer or whatever. And I don't know how I got brought up, but I got brought up, and she was like, "You can bring a friend." And me and her was best friends, so obviously I was the one that she invited to go with her. So her grandmother, I don't know if it was her grandmother, her great grandmother, or her mom who got in contact with my mom, and she was like, "I'm gonna get her a name. Her name is gonna be Knob. Her name is gonna be Donab, because I just like calling her that." So Donab wants Yasmin to come with her to her grandmother's house this summer for a couple of days, for like a week or two. I think it probably like a couple of days, almost a week, for a couple of days, and spend with them. My mom said, "Okay, just let me know." She gave my mom some details about what she would need to pack for me and stuff like that, and money, of course, and all of that kind of. She gave my mom details, and my mom said yes, she can go. And my mom told me, she said yeah. She said Doorknob and her grandmama want you to come and spend the weekend with them for the summer, so you want to do that? And I said yes, because that was my best friend, and I was always down to hang out or chill with her. So I went. So I think a couple days later, my mom packs me up a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of clothes and stuff to take up there, and I go. So I think her grandma comes to get us from her grandmother's house. I think that's what happened. So I ended up going to spend the night at her great grandma's house, that the following week, I think it was, or maybe that weekend, I went to go spend the night at her grandma's house, and her grandma at her great grandma's house, and her grandmother came to pick us up that that next morning, and we took the drive back to where she lived. And so she lived in like a really pretty apartment complex. I loved it. It was so pretty. And it was big too. Her house was very pretty. It was very, very pretty. She lived in a very nice apartment. I think it was a high rise, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think she lived in Atlanta though. I don't think it was Atlanta. I don't know where it was. I don't think it was Atlanta. I don't know where it was. But anyway, so we went to her grandmother's house for the weekend, and she had a pool, and so the plan was always for us to go to the pool one night. So I think her plan was for us to always go to like the pool. So we're excited about, because they had a pool there and we wanted to go. We was very excited about going, and a lot of things happened on this trip, but I remember this particular thing happening exactly. So I think maybe like 1 or 2 days, I want to say we were there. We decided one day to go to the pool, the big pool, and we were gonna go swimming. So if a little thing about me, I don't know how to swim. I do not swim. I float, and I'm very aware of that. I know that now. I have never tried attempt to swim. I float very well, and I know that, and I have that understanding, and that is the understanding that me and Ward had. So I always stay on the step now. But back then, I did not know this was a thing, and this was my fault. Nobody else's. This is my fault. So what happened was, we go to the pool that afternoon, and then we're all at the pool, and I have my bathing suit on. Her grandmother is getting us all ready to get in the pool. Well, little old me had just recently watched, I can't think of the name of the movie, but you know that movie with Whoopi Goldberg and I forget the man's name, and he had a little girl, and the little girl and the Whoopi Goldberg was basically like the nanny or something like that, but the man ends up falling in love with Whoopi Goldberg. And I think in the movie they went to this pool, and they sit in the pool. I remember her doing cannonballs into the pool. I forget what that movie was. I don't remember what it was, but the little girl ends up becoming really, really close with like Whoopi Goldberg in the movie, and so much so that she gets mad with her dad when he doesn't want to be with Whoopi, but he ends up being with her. I can't think of the name of the movie. If y'all know the name of the movie, please let me know down below in the comments. It's a very, very old movie. I don't remember the movie, but I had just watched that movie, and I was so excited because I was going to get to go to the pool and all of that, and I was going to be in the pool like she was, and I was going to be able to do a cannonball like she did. I remember that so specifically. So, we ended up going to the pool, and her grandmama was getting us all ready to go inside the pool. Well, my friend already knew how to swim, but I don't think it had been established yet that I didn't know how to swim. So, but my friend didn't jump in. I jumped in, and I jumped inside the pool. I remember this like it was yesterday. So, after she get done doing whatever she was doing to me, I'm little old me just said, okay, well, I want to do a cannonball inside this pool, not knowing that I could drown or anything like that. Like I said, I was very young. I didn't understand what swimming was. I didn't understand a lot of things at this point that I understand now, but I didn't understand it. So what happened was I jumped inside the pool. I don't do cannonball. I just dive in, but I don't know how to swim. So I automatically started struggling, trying to get up, trying to like pedal up and catch air, and I don't know how to swim. And so I think somebody jumps. I forget who comes in and saves me. I think it's my friend. I don't know who it was, but somebody jumps in and gets me out of the pool and brings me up. And her grandmama like, why would you jump in the pool like that? You don't know how to swim. Did you not know that you didn't know how to swim? I said, no, I knew I didn't know how to swim. She said, why would you jump in the pool like that? She said, you can't do that. She said, because I can't swim and I can't get in there and get you. I gave that poor woman a heart attack. I know I gave her a heart attack. I know I scared the heck out of her. I scared the heck out of me. I was scared because I don't know how to swim. And the fact that somebody had to come in there and get me, it worries me to death. I do not know how to swim. But I'm making my business to know that I'm making my business to make sure that my kids know how to swim. So I jump in the pool thinking I'm just Wonder Woman. I can just swim like that. And I can't swim, so they get me out the pool, and I'm fine. I didn't actually drown. I'm still alive. I'm good. I still don't know how to swim, but that was like one of the most scariest moments of my life. Well, not the scariest, but it was like one of the most surprising moments of my life. Just cause I had like a really big reality check. Okay, sis, now you know better now. Don't do that kind of stuff again. You can't swim. You don't need to be jumping in pools like that. But yep, that is the story time of the time I drowned. I had a lot of fun. I think later on that night she took us to another pool, like a much smaller pool, kiddie pool, inside the complex. I think they had two. They had the big pool, the main pool, then they had like a kiddie pool that we could go to. And she took us to that pool, and I got to swim in there. So that was fun. But yeah, that was like really dumb and stupid of me to do. I shouldn't have done it. I know I scared that poor woman to death, but I didn't mean to, and I didn't know. But anyway, yeah, that's the story time of the time I drowned. And the one on time I ever drowned, because I never did anything like that again. Although I probably should make it my business to learn how to swim, but I haven't yet. But you know, everything is a learning thing, so you know, we all got to learn at some point. But anyway, that was it for that story time. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, comment, like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see. Like I always say in all my videos, if there's something that you want to see, something that you want to hear, you just let me know, and I will do my very, very best to make that happen. I promise you. I hope you enjoy, and see you in the next one. Bye.